What's going on, you guys? Slim here, back with a new deck profile for you guys, and I have an updated pure Invoke deck profile for the rest of this December 2020 format before our ban list. I'm pretty sure this deck is going to be safe from the ban list, so either way I think we're good. But anyways, as always, if you guys are new here, consider subscribing, hit that notification bell. You guys be notified whenever I upload. You'll also be notified when I stream over on Twitch. Link is in the description. As always, if you want to build this deck yourself, and I highly suggest you do, it's a lot of fun. It is a very different approach to playing the game, but hey, it's pretty cool. And I mean, it gets to play Alistair and friends, so I always advise it. If you're going to do that, please use my TCG player link in the description below. A portion of what you spend will go back to the channel. It helps me out, and I really do appreciate it. And last but not least, if you want to further support the channel, consider joining my Patreon. There's 4 different tiers, nothing over $10, and just a lot of awesome rewards over there. But without further ado, let's get into this, you guys. I'm super excited for this profile. I really like Pure Invoked. You guys know how much I love Alistair. I am Alistair after all. We're going to get into it. So the thing with this deck is it's a very streamlined deck. It obviously wants to go second, and it's very streamlined in its approach. It's not going to do anything super fancy. You're literally just trying to stop your opponent from playing and then just follow up with Alistair and just do your thing. So for that reason, the only real summon in this deck is literally the boss man, Alistair, me, you already know, and the package that goes with them. So I have shown this package more times than I can count, especially this year. I mean, it's my favorite engine probably in the game, probably in my top 3 to 5 of all time. This is me, you guys already know. Alistair 1-card combo, 1-card Macabre. Now, I am letting you guys know I am not playing the new, I think it's the Magistus link, just not yet. I don't have it yet. It isn't out yet for me, but I'll talk about that when we get to the extra deck. You definitely can play that card, as it does kind of free up extra deck space if you're wanting to go just 1-card Macabre, because it literally will turn Alistair into a light, and then you literally have Alistair plus Invocation without having to go all Mirage plus Secure Granite. But we'll talk about the pros and cons of that when we get to the extra deck. But this engine is just insane. This engine is everything to me, and I really hope, you know, I said it before, I hope this doesn't get touched on the ban list. I don't think it will. I mean, Dogmatic Invoked has done well, but it hasn't been like game breaking, so I really don't think they're actually going to touch any of these cards. So that is your main engine in the deck. It's your 1-card combo. I mean, you can't beat it. So as you guys already know with Pure Invoke, so there's no Mech Knights, there's no Shaddolls, there's no Dogmatica. So what you just play is hand traps. Your goal is to just stop your opponent from playing the game. So the best way to do that is actually to just play the best hand traps in the game. So I've got the Gamma Driver package, I've got the Nibiru's, I've got the Ashes, I've got the Drolls, I've got the Veilers, and I got the Imperms. I know, that's a crap ton of hand traps, you guys. So where do I even begin? Okay, so Imperm should be a kind of a no-brainer, the Ashes should be a no-brainer, and the Nibiru should be a no-brainer, and honestly the Gamma Driver should be a no-brainer. All these are just insane hand traps. I don't really need to talk about these. You see these in almost every deck I profile ever on the channel. Now, as far as these other ones go, so Droll and Veiler, there are so many other hand traps in this game that if you don't want to play these, you can play. Trust me, I've messed with things like Phantasme, I've messed with even Lancia in the main deck, and then I just thought, okay, I'm getting way too ahead of myself. We need to simplify this. And there were 2 things that these 2 cards did that I really like. So there's a combo in the extra deck, you guys already know, the Selene Access Code combo. You know, you're going second deck, you can just break the whole board. The reason why I chose to put Droll in this deck, now I know I cut Droll from some of my other decks, and here's the thing, is I think a lot of players have learned to play around Droll, but as soon as they learn to play around Droll, Droll doesn't get played, and then, you know, they stop playing around, and then you can put it back in your side deck or whatever, and they get thrown off by it. The reason why I like Droll in this deck is because it can stop their turn, and that's all you really need to do, is you just prevent them from playing, and then you literally just capitalize with Alistair. Now, obviously, you know, you want your Alistair to resolve, you have all these things, you're just trying to go, just bait everything they have, and then just hit every single one of their plays with these hand traps. Veiler is just crazy too, because you can use multiple in a turn, so I really like that. And obviously with the Selene Access Code combo, you want to have Spellcasters, so these do come up for that reason. Like I said, if you want to try out cards like Phantasme, if you want to try out other hand traps in the main deck, you can. I just didn't want to get too fancy. So the problem I had with Phantasme, I was testing it, and against Dinosaurs, it's dead. Against Virtual World, it's dead. Like, in case you don't know, I don't think Virtual World, like, ever link summons, like, at all. And, like, literally, I drew it against that deck, and I lost. I literally just could not play it. It was horrible. Like, the fact that I couldn't even use the card, that it just sat dead in my hand, really sucked. Now, you could argue, you know, against like Dragon Link, of course, or against Infernoble, you might get to drop it, but maybe. But I think Droll might be a little more impactful, because if they aren't prepared for Droll and you stop their turn, you can just get the turn back to you, and that's really what you need to do. So I felt like these hand traps really do the job, and that's kind of the whole point of the deck, is just hand trap them and then just Alistair them, and you know, you're good to go. And then, obviously, with the Go on Second deck, I gotta play the best Go on Second deck card ever. I mean, it's at 1 for a reason. I wish it was at more than 1, but hey, I don't make the ban list. So yeah, there's Pank. Then the rest is pretty much just power spells, you guys. So this is a different type of deck, so I'm not playing talents, and the reason why is, honestly, what are they gonna hand trap besides my Alistair? Like, I get it, like, if I summon Alistair, they hand trap it, I can draw cards or something like that, but I figured, you know, why not just go with Desires? Desires is just so strong in this deck. We play so many 3-ofs, like, getting that +1 is super important. Plus, you know, if it gets impermed, we can't tactics. Like, there's a lot of things that can prevent us from doing anything, so I'd rather have a card that I can get to resolve, you know, draw my cards and just keep going. So that's why I chose to play Desires over Tactics in this deck. So kind of a slash, kind of a little bit of a budget deck. Maybe it is a budget deck. I don't really know. I got to relook at the deck again. But I've also got the Triple Cosmic Cyclone for back row removal. So the reason why I chose to play this instead of like Lightning Storm or anything like that is I think Cyclone is actually better for the rest of this format. The fact that it can catch things and banish things is so important. The fact that it's a quick play is so important. Like, obviously you're going second, and a card like Lightning Storm is great. You can definitely play that if you want, and normally, you know, your boy would. I love playing just total blowout cards, but I really like Cyclone, and I think it's not getting, you know, enough credit. It is very strong. There's a reason why so many players side deck it or main deck it this format. You want to catch things with the quick play ability, but not only that, is you want to banish them. Getting them completely out of the game is super important. This can also come up in the mirror match on the interaction where they activate Invocation. You can chain Cosmic Cyclone, you can banish the Invocation, they're not going to get it back, so that's extremely strong. Remember that if you're playing a mirror match or anything that plays Invoke. So I really like that a lot. I think this is just very strong for dealing with problematic cards, and it being a quick play gives it a lot more, you know, like flexibility as compared to like Lightning Storm, especially like if you for some reason have cards on the board, you can't use it in the late game. So I really like it for that reason, and I chose to just go with that route. I figured, you know, hey, you know, it's more of like a budget option. Why not do it? You know, why not? And I know the most hated part of this deck, and it was just like last time when we did the Pure Invoke deck, we are playing this now. Here's the thing. I already talked about it in my ban list. I'd like to see this card banned or at 1. The reason why you play this card is because you do need to tempo the game back to you. I'm not going to sit here and act like our deck is super aggressive or is going to OTK you all the time. You can OTK with Purgatrio, but it requires setup, it requires stuff like that. And this card at least gives you another way to bait out negates. A lot of times I use this card to bait out a negate, and then you just summon Alistair, and it's pretty good. So there are reasons why I'm playing this card in this deck, and I feel like this is the only version of Invoke that I would actually play this in, because it being pure Invoked, you can't really afford to not, you know, have cards that will slow down the game. And that's the thing, is you need to tempo the game back to your turn, and that's exactly what this does. And a lot of times you might just steal a win off this card. I'm not going to sit here and act like you won't. This card can sometimes just win you the game flat out. So for that reason, we have the Terraforming and the Set Rotation, because we are playing a total of 6 field spells. So a lot of times if you need to get Mystic Mine, you give them a Meltdown. They're not an Alistair deck. They're not going to be able to use it. So for that reason, we just max out on the consistency to see it, and it makes the deck an even 40 cards. So that is the main deck, you guys. If you guys remember my previous Pure Invoke deck, and I know there's not a lot on YouTube, so it's probably mine and maybe 1 or 2 more, you'll see that we haven't made much changes. I chose not to play Dragoon in the deck. Honestly, you don't get 2 monsters to get to Verde, and I'm not going to try to just rely on hard drawing the Red Eyes Fusion. So for that reason, I chose to just keep the deck at 40, keep it just hand trap based, keep it just, you know, stop their turn, get the game back to me, and that's exactly what we did with it. We'll go to the extra deck real quick. Very standard stuff, just the Invoke cards. So 2 Makaba, 1 Purg, 1 Raijin, 1 Kaliga, and 1 Elysium. So the difference in this is I decided to cut a Purgatrio. So I used to have 2 Purgatrios in here. Now I know with Mystic Mine, everyone's goal is just to Purgatrio the opponent, and then you just win. A lot of times it just requires setup and it requires patience. However, I look at it like I'm only ever summoning one Purgatrio, and I'm only summoning it when I'm going for game. Like, I will not summon Purgatrio unless I absolutely have have to, and that's kind of the point. With playing only one copy, you're not going to get haphazard with it, so I chose to just play the one copy. I like the flexibility of Raijin, Kaliga as well, because there's a lot of dark decks. A lot of times, if you can get to Makaba Kaliga, like, it can come up. It's very strong in that aspect. It doesn't come up a lot because we don't really play darks in the deck, but again, the opponent plays a lot of darks, so they're doing the work for us. And then Agodius is just insane because it literally just, could be an OTK machine. So I felt like all of these are good. The only other ones is like the Earth one, the Water one. They didn't really come up that much, but again, if you guys want to test them out, you can. Elysium didn't come up for me because I'm not playing Super Poly, but you can try those cards out as well. Extra deck got a little tight, so I just wanted to keep it with all the Invoke monsters I know I'm going to summon, and I've literally summoned all of these, so that's the reason why I chose to go with those ones. Then just the generic Link. So like I said, I'm not playing the Magistus card just yet, but that could potentially change. And here's the thing. I understand people like that because it literally will omit the Almirage, and instead of Secure Gardener, you're just playing that one card. However, the thing people forget about Almirage is Almirage has two really cool effects. The fact that Almirage will get a fire in the grave because of its attribute, and not only that, is its effect can come up to where it can come back out of the graveyard when you lose Alistair or something by battle. So that is important. Secure Gardener also has a lot of merit because you don't take damage when they literally attack it. So trust me, those little interactions kind of matter. So that's why I wanted to keep it still in the deck until, we test more with the new card. And then the rest is just generic Link stuff. Mad Invoker comes up, obviously. We play 3 Invocation. Cross Sheep, same thing. And Cross Sheep just helps us link climb. And, we're just trying to link climb. A lot of times you just link climb into Unicorn, and it's just really strong. And you just spin back the board, just attack for game. And then, like I already mentioned, we are playing the Halki Fibrax, the Celine, and the Access Code Talker. This is literally your OTK machine. All the spellcasters in the deck. There's actually 6 spellcasters in the deck because of Droll and Lockbird. Joel Lockbird's a spellcaster. I completely forgot, but it's pretty crazy, and this does come up a lot. I don't think, like I said, Hulk is going to get hit on the list, but in case it does, we can just play something else. It's just nice to have this in the deck as an option, and it helps us OTK the opponent when going second, since we are a strictly going second deck. But that's it, you guys. A little something different for you guys. I know I haven't posted a pure Invoke deck in a really long time. I'll be honest, it's kind of hard to deviate from what the deck really wants to do. The deck is very solid, like, don't get me wrong, but you're just playing a real, just like anti-meta kind of hand trap based deck, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think the deck is very strong. I hate that I have to play cards like this, but similar to Prank Kids, similar to decks that do play Mystic Mind, I feel like you have to warrant the format. You have to respect the format, and you need to have enough cards to stop the opponent. If the hand traps don't stop them, the Mystic Mind definitely will. But I'll be honest, with all these great hand traps at your disposal, I think you'll get the job done. And then I know it seems kind of crazy, like a glass cannon, to just rely on Alistair, but trust me, the flexibility is there. You can do a lot with this card, and you have all the attributes that come up at your disposal, and you can do a lot with that with this deck. But that's my take on the deck. Please let me know what you guys think. I know it's something different. I know a lot of people don't really cover this deck, but your boy loves anything Alistair related, so I had to feature it. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below if you really do enjoy the deck profile. Please give me any suggestions to better this deck, because I would definitely love to change this deck up in the future. I don't think this list is perfect. I think it's a good, kind of skeleton for you guys to work with. Like I said, play the hand traps you enjoy, and play the extra deck cards that you enjoy, that you find come up more for you. This is just what works for me, and we can definitely continue to improve this deck, because I'm not going to sleep on this deck. If one day Mech Knight Invoke doesn't become a thing anymore, and I can't play Alistair in anything but an Invoke deck, I definitely would want to play something kind of like this. But those are my thoughts, you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and as always, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.